Welcome to the World War II preview for the simulation, historysimulation.com's World War II simulation. First, we're going to start by clicking on New Simulation. And we're going to name this simulation World History Period 2 so we can identify the class that this particular simulation goes with. In the Notes column, well, we can, if this was day 2, we could say, or after day 1, we could say, tomorrow we got to start with Axis War, and that way we know what we start with. Then we're going to select the type of simulation, which of course is going to be World War II. Now we're ready, and we've created our first simulation. So we're going to create a simulation for each class period because they'll all have their own maps. And now we're ready to start the simulation, so we're going to click Start on this one. Alright, as we click, the first thing we're going to click are the teacher notes. Now here again you see in the notes it says Axis War is where we start today. But if you go down to the View Only Map link, you can copy and paste this link and it will give the students a view only map of your map, the actual simulation map. And every time they refresh their browser, that map will update to what you have on the simulation map itself. So for one-to-one it works really good. If you don't have one-to-one, they can get on at home and see their map, share it with their parents, kind of show them what's going on. A lot of kids like to talk about this at home and on Facebook and Twitter, and because they're planning their strategies. So the view-only map is really neat. So we're going to click Save for that. Now, as we look at the map, and I'm just going to give you kind of a short tour of the whole thing. We've got two maps basically together, the Pacific map or Asia map, and then we've got the European map. So if you look on the map here, we have different regions. Germany is one region, P1's another region, P2's another region, Belarus, Ukraine. All these are different regions where battles could be fought, so they're land zones. Inside these land zones, you'll see that we have some little boxes with numbers in them. Now this is something that we've changed so that students can see how many resources are in each one of those zones. So for example, here in Germany we've got 4 credits of iron ore, and in the red box we got a 15, which means we've got 15 credits of coal. Down here in Romania we have 15 credits of oil. Those are the black boxes. And finally, over in the Pacific, we've got green boxes which indicate rubber plantations where natural rubber was grown. And so those are the 4 resources. There's kind of a key at the bottom down here: iron ore, coal, oil, and rubber. Now, each one of these zones has troops in it. You can see here Germany has the little flag represents an army, and the German army in Germany has 6,168. In Poland, the army is 600, as you can see. Now, when we want to move an army, for example, the troops in Bohemia, Moravia, if we want to move them up to Poland, we just drag the little flag, and it'll ask us how many units we want to move. Well, let's say we just want to move 1,000. So we put 1,000 in the box and we click Move. So now we've got 1,000 troops in Poland and 1,000 troops over here. So we've split that army into the pieces that we want. So now if we want to conduct a battle, we've got both our armies right here. We're going to double click on that zone, and a box is going to come up. And see, we got Germany and we've got Poland. Well, Poland is the original country there, so it'll be defending its home territory. So we're going to check the box for defending. Now and this could have many different countries in it, but for right now we only have 2. So then we click commence and the battle will begin. And it tells us that the Axis powers are victorious. As you can see, the Polish troops have been destroyed and they have left the map. The box has changed to the Axis yellow color to show that it was an Axis victory. That's all done automatically. Up here we see we've got sea zones. We got the North Sea zone, got the Baltic Sea zone. These are where sea battles are going to be conducted. The navies are represented by flags with anchors on them. You can see the British Navy over here, the German Navy here, the Polish Navy, and the Soviet Navy. Now, if we're going to move for a sea battle, let's say that we'll go down here and we got Italy's Navy. We're going to move it into the West Mediterranean Sea Zone. So we're going to drag our flag into that zone. And we'll say we want to move 141 troops so that we leave 100 back in the Adriatic. So we click move. And now you can see we got 100 in the Adriatic and 141 in the West Mediterranean. Now the same thing happens here as in a land battle. Now we're going to click on the West Mediterranean Sea Zone. We'll double click it for you Mac users. And what's going to happen is the battle is going to pull every navy in there into that battle. Okay, so if there's somebody in there that you're not declaring war on, they're going to be caught up in the battle, and based on their alliance, they'll be a part of the battle. You can't just battle. We can battle two navies right now because there's nobody else in the West Mediterranean. So we're going to double click on that. We see we've got 141 for Italy and the French Navy has 40. So we click commence and we have an Axis powers victory. And we've got 85 Navy left for Italy, and the French Navy has been wiped out and they are gone. Now let's say, for example, that we want to change alliances for the USSR. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the name USSR and our alliance selection is going to come up. So let's say we want to make them allied. So we're going to click on allied and then we're going to click save. Now we can see that all the Soviet territories have now turned to the alliance of the Allies. Another thing you can do, you can zoom in and zoom out with your fingers on the mouse pad and make it big, however you want it up on your screen, or make it small again. You can zoom in and zoom out. Now, when this is completed, the resources will say, for example here, Poland when Germany took over Poland, they captured 3 coal credits. And those coal credits would automatically go to the German stockpile. You don't have to do anything. But one of the things that we can do here is to manage our resources. I swiped there a little bit too fast. So going back to manage resources, we're going to click on that. And this is where you would transfer resources. So let's say that we've got the United States wants to transfer 15 oil in the year 1943 to the Soviet Union. So the source country will be the United States. The target country will be the USSR or the Soviet Union. The source region, we'll say, is going to come this time, is going to come from Eastern United States. The United States is divided into 2 halves, Eastern and Western, and there's resources in both. The oil that we're transferring, or the resource we're transferring, is oil, and the amount was 15 credits. So, because this is a transfer from one student to another or one country to another country, This obviously can't be automatic. It has to be manually entered from the resource transfer slips. And now we click Add. And now those resources have been added, taken from the United States, and put into the Soviet Union's stockpile. Now there's going to be two buttons up here, one for Add Troops and one to Add Navy. Let's say your simulation's going along and you make a mistake. You're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I've destroyed these troops. How do we, Well, if we have to, we can add troops. We can say what type of troops we want. In this case, we're going to say we want troops for France. They're allied. And the number of units that we want to add. Let's say we made a mistake and we need 500 more French troops added. Or, for example, the United States, when they go to mobilize, you want to add more troops to the United States. And this will work the same way when the naval button is put in. You'll be able to add Navy because the United States is going to expand their Navy as well. So we click Add. And now we're going to go down to the bottom here where it says Additional Troops, and we can see that we've got 500 extra troops. Now if we put 500 extra troops right here in North Africa, those are going to stack.